Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
On the 21st of August 2021, history was made in Shekiri Nation as Ogiame Atuwatse III was crowned the 21st Olu of Warri Kingdom. However, the epoch-making event did not happen without intrigues, infighting, and legal battles. The following documentary is a chronicle of events that happened before, during, and after the coronation of Ogiame Atuwatse III.
The coastal city of Warri, Nigeria's foremost oil city, lies along the Warri River in the western Niger Delta, 30 miles upstream from the Port Focados on the Bight of Benin. History has it that Warri Kingdom, comprising the Ishekiri Nation, was founded by Ginoua I, a prince of Benin Kingdom in 1480. Soon after it was founded, Warri Kingdom was visited by Portuguese who were attracted by the beauty and greatness of the kingdom and decided to go into bilateral relations with successive leaders of the kingdom, a diplomatic alliance that survived many centuries. During the slave trade era, the port city of Warri became a major trading center and remained so when oil palm dominated international trade and commerce in the 19th century. With the accumulation of wealth and fame, Warri Kingdom was able to carve a niche for itself in pre-colonial times and remained visible up till the period of British colonialism in Nigeria. The influence, power, and glory of the kingdom emanated from the highly revered Olu of Warri's stool, which has been occupied by great men of wisdom and intellectual sophistication in the last 541 years. In 1625, Don Domingos Atuwatse I was crowned the 7th Olu of Warri Kingdom upon his return from Portugal, where he went to study and became the first ever university graduate to have emerged from sub-Saharan Africa. Ever since, the cultural and intellectual sophistication of the Ishekiri nation has remained unrivaled, as Ishekiri sons and daughters today rank amongst the most accomplished Nigerians in all endeavors of life. Some 541 years after the kingdom was founded, the lot fell on Prince Shola Emiko, first son of Ogiame Atuwatse II, to sit on the exalted throne. He was coronated amidst pomp and pageantry as Ogiame Atuwatse III, the 21st Olu of Warri Kingdom, on the 21st of August 2021. However, before ascending the throne, Ogiame Atuwatse III had to go through many challenges, all of which he surmounted through his display of uncommon intelligence and wisdom, and above all by the special grace of God Almighty. Following the demise of Ogiame Ikenwonli I, 20th Olu of Warri in December 2020, it became imperative for the Ishekiri nation to once again elect another prince from the Ginoua I ruling house to sit on the exalted throne. And so, after intense lobbying, scheming, and in fact behind-the-scene maneuverings, the Ginoua I ruling house, the only ruling house in Warri Kingdom, met, deliberated, and chose Prince Shola Emiko as Olu designate. As is customary, the Ginoua I ruling house wrote a letter to the 5-member Olus Advisory Council to inform them that Prince Shola Emiko had been chosen as the next Olu of Warri Kingdom to enable them begin all processes leading to the eventual coronation of the young prince. However, upon receipt of the letter, Chief Ayiri Emami, who was chairman of the Olus Advisory Council and who clearly had a preference for another candidate and felt they did not follow the provisions of a 1979 edict stipulating the requirements and processes of the selection of an Olu, read the letter, tore it into shreds, enveloped it, and returned it to the Ginoua I ruling house. The Ginoua I ruling house felt insulted by the actions of Chief Ayiri Emami under the leadership of its Olori Ebi, Prince Emmanuel Okotiebo. They met, deliberated, and what followed was the suspension of Chief Ayiri Emami as the Olugboshere of Warri Kingdom.
Chief Ayiri Emami, having exhibited actions and tendencies unbecoming of the position he occupies, and having proven himself unworthy of the Olugboshere stool, is hereby suspended from the Warri Kingdom.
The suspension paved way immediately for the reconstitution of the Olus Advisory Council, with Chief Johnson Amasherule, the Iyashere of Warri, emerging as its new chairman. The new Advisory Council accepted Prince Shola Emiko's nomination after confirmation by the Ifa Oracle. So, on the 5th of April 2021, the Ishekiri nation performed Alejefun, the traditional announcement of the passing of their king, Ogiame Ikenwoli I. As tradition demands, the announcement of Alejefun immediately paves way for the unveiling of an Olu designate, otherwise known as Omoba. Prince Shola Emiko was therefore presented to the Ishekiri Assembly as the Olu designate and Omoba. Chief Ayiri Emami and other chiefs in the kingdom who opposed the emergence of Prince Shola Emiko as Omoba made a reference to the 1979 edict, which prescribes that only a prince whose mother is Ishekiri or of Edo origin can sit on the exalted throne of the Olu of Warri. The provision of the 1979 edict in their reckoning automatically precludes Prince Shola Emiko, whose mother is Yoruba, to be crowned an Olu of Warri. However, majority of the Ishekiri people were determined to move past the edict, which they described as a traditional fraud.
Any attempt to use pencil, ink or biro to sever Yoruba from our Aboriginal history is an infraction.
As if to reinforce its affinity with the Ishekiri people, the Oni of Ife and Arole Oodua, Oba Adeye Enitan Ogunsi Ojaja II, sent in 2 Yoruba traditional rulers to be part of the nomination process of Prince Shola Emiko. As the Ishekiri believe, once an Omoba is named, all disagreements are immediately resolved.
When there is tussle for succession of the Olu, there is a group called Moje, I agree, and another group that says Meje, I don't agree. But immediately the Omoba, the Olu designate comes out, is agreed on, all the Moje, Meje, they all come together.
In this case, however, after the pronouncement of Prince Shola Emiko as the Olu designate, the disagreements only grew stronger. In spite of that, however, the 37-year-old prince started receiving congratulatory messages from across the nation, including President of the Federal Republic, President Muhammadu Buhari, and the APC national leader, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As the days went by, opposition to Prince Shola Emiko's selection started thinning out. Chiefs like Omolubi Nenewumi switched support to Prince Shola Emiko. Even social media influencer Freedom Ashekboyi, popularly known as Mr. Jollof, who admitted that he was pressured to put out several posts against Prince Shola Emiko, posted on his Instagram page an apology as well as a plea for forgiveness.
Afomasi, Ogiame, now push me. Yes, but any talk will not happen. Ogiame, forgive me.
So, with more and more Ishekiris supporting the emergence of Prince Shola Emiko as Olu designate, all activities towards the coronation began in earnest. On the 10th of May 2021, Prince Shola Emiko performed the mandatory Iken rites, which is the interment of the remains of the immediate past Olu at the royal burial ground in Ijala, where he was pronounced Ogiame, king of Warri Kingdom. Upon return to Warri, Prince Shola Emiko walked the streets of Warri to the residence where he would commence 3 months of seclusion, traditionally referred to as Idanike. What followed the Iken rite was 2 weeks of traditional burial rites for Ogiame Ikenwali I. Several communities in Ishekiri nation took turns to perform dances and festivities in honor of the departed monarch. While in Idanike, Prince Shola Emiko received tutelage on the history, tradition and culture of the Ishekiri people. Prince Shola Emiko's detractors intensified their efforts to stop him from ascending the throne while he served out his days of seclusion in Idanike. Prince Oyowoli Emiko, son of immediate past Olu Ogiame Ikenwali, also wanted to be king. He approached a Warri High Court seeking an order compelling Chief Ayiri Emami to declare him Omoba and Olu designate. He was joined in his suit by his uncle, Prince Bernard Emiko. However, on the 17th of June, when the case came up for hearing at the Warri High Court, Ishekiri youths and women stormed the court and disrupted proceedings, forcing the case to be transferred to Asaba, the Delta State capital. To further worsen an already bad situation, Chief Ayiri Emami in July also approached a Warri High Court challenging his suspension as Ologboshere of Warri Kingdom and seeking an injunction preventing anyone from crowning an Olu of Warri Kingdom pending the determination of his suit. In the middle of all these, the 400-year-old crown, brought from Portugal in 1611 by Don Domingos, which had been used to crown all Olus since then, was nowhere to be found. It was reportedly removed from the palace on the night of 31st March 2021, a situation that made the Warri Council of Chiefs to petition security agencies and naming Chief Ayiri Emami, Prince Oyowoli Emiko, Prince Omashuli Emiko, and Chief Richmond McGray as possible suspects in the disappearance of the crown. Upon invitation of Chief Ayiri by the AIG Zone 5 in Benin City, Chief Ayiri declared that he had no knowledge of the whereabouts of the crown.
All the acts who invaded the palace, and some things that are missing in the palace, they want to know the whereabouts of those things. And I actually told them what I know.
Despite protests by several Ishekiri groups and indeed Ishekiri women over the stolen royal crown, the crown was not returned. To clear the air on whether or not the missing crown could affect the coronation, Chief Johnson Amasherule, who had earlier announced a coronation date of August 21st, 2021, said with or without the crown, the coronation was going to hold. As everyone waited on with bated breaths for the day of coronation, the question in the minds of everyone was whether or not the court would stop the coronation. With 2 weeks to coronation, the 2 lawsuits by Prince Oyowoli Emiko and Chief Ayiri Emami failed to stop the coronation process as the cases were adjourned to September 28th and October 12th, respectively. Seeing that the court could not stop the coronation, Prince Oyowoli resorted to self-help by declaring himself Omoba and Olu designate in pictures he circulated widely on social media and threatening to organize a coronation of his own. His entire plot fell flat on its face, just like the court cases. When the Nigerian police declared him wanted over the case of stolen crown, he promptly fled into hiding. With all obstacles cleared, August 21st as the day of coronation was destined to be a reality. Friday 20th of August 2021, eve of the coronation, Prince Shola Emiko joined youths and other chiefs to walk the streets of Warri in a March for Peace parade. Later that same day, a praise and worship service was held at the Delta Boatyard in Warri. D-Day, 21st August 2021. At exactly 12 midnight, fireworks greeted the skies of Ode Shekiri to announce that the day of coronation had finally come. At 9 a.m., a boat regatta on Warri River signaled the commencement of coronation festivities. The convoy of boats, led by the royal boat conveying Prince Shola Emiko, led the way from Warri to Ode Shekiri, the ancestral home of Ishekiris and venue for the coronation ceremony. Upon arrival in Ode Shekiri, Prince Shola Emiko was received by thousands of Iwere sons and daughters. Prince Shola Emiko had to perform 3 symbolic tasks before coronation, which he would never again perform for the rest of his life. First, he fetched water from a clay pot, split wood with an axe, and then paddled a canoe. After he took the oath of office and picked one of the swords used by former kings to define the name he would adopt for his reign, Prince Shola Emiko proceeded to the venue for coronation proper. He was crowned by Chief Gabriel Awala with a brand new golden crown.
Shola Emiko,
his title is Atuwatse III.
In what looked like a definition of what would guide his reign, Ogiame Atuwatse III broke into gospel songs of surrender to the Almighty before making his speech.
Jesus reign.
While thanking everyone for their support, Ogiame Atuwatse III reversed a generational curse placed on Nigeria by his grandfather, Erejuwa II.
In its place, I release forgiveness and healing to the federal government of Nigeria, whose might was used to propagate that offense. And I decree unprecedented and uncommon peace, prosperity, progress, development upon this land. I bring down the government of heaven onto this land, and I direct it to flow as a force that can neither be sabotaged, slowed, nor stopped.
He also spoke to the youths in the Niger Delta.
We have heard the narrative several times as to how the Niger Delta is blessed in terms of resources. The truth, however, we must look beyond oil and gas and channel our energy in the right direction towards endeavors that will result in added value across the board.
Ogiame Atuwatse III promised that his reign will usher in peace and prosperity, not just for the Ishekiri people and the Warri kingdom alone, but their neighbors. He gave special honor to his mother and wife, while saying that women would no longer be invisible under his reign. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Deputy President of Senate, Senator Ovie Omagege, expressed his confidence that the reign of Ogiame Atuwatse III would usher in peace and progress to the Ishekiri nation.
I am certain that as a monarch with the traditional will to continue the noble 500-year tradition of this kingdom, your reign will witness improved peace, progress, and development of your people and the nation.
While welcoming the Warri monarch to the fold of first-class monarchs in the country, the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, called on Ogiame Atuwatse III to embrace all his people, including the good, the bad, and the ugly, as a father would do.
Make sure that your leadership is a fatherly leadership.
The Oba of Benin, Omonoba Nedo Ukwa-Akpolokpolo, Oba Warri II, who sent representatives to the ceremony, also prayed for the new Olu. A Thanksgiving service was organized on Sunday morning, the 22nd of August 2021. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and the Governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, joined Ogiame Atuwatse III in thanking God for a successful coronation ceremony. Since his coronation, several dignitaries across Nigeria have been trooping into the Oyo City to pay homage to the new monarch. They include former President Goodluck Jonathan, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, Abdullahi Ganduje, the Governor of Kano, and Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Born on the 2nd of April 1984 to the 19th Olu of Warri Kingdom, Ogiame Atuwatse II and Olori Gladys Emiko, Ogiame Atuwatse III had his primary and secondary education in Nigeria. Between 2002 and 2006, he obtained a Bachelor of Arts in International Studies and Political Science from the Case Western University in Cleveland, Ohio in the United States. By 2007, he acquired a master's degree in management from the same university and returned to Nigeria to participate in the mandatory National Youth Service Corps NYSC scheme. Between 2009 and 2010, he worked as an officer at the Shell Nigeria Closed Pension Fund Administrator and later moved to Sahara Energy, where he served in the Government Relations Department from 2010 to 2012. The forward-looking prince at the time saw the need to establish his own business and went ahead to found Noble Nigeria Limited and Coral Curators Nigeria Limited. He is also an experienced boardroom player with directorship positions in Ocean Marine Security Limited, Gulf of Guinea Limited, and Vessel Link Nigeria Limited. Ogiame Atuwatse III is a devout Christian whose life is dedicated to the service of God and humanity. He is married to Olori Ivie Nhunoma Emiko, a successful lawyer and daughter of late billionaire businessman Captain Hosa Okumbo. They are blessed with 3 children, Orishe Shemaye, Orishe Temison, and Orishe Timei Emiko. In the midst of the many intrigues that played out over the rightful candidate for the Olu of Warri's stool, the Ifa oracle, when consulted, declared without equivocation that Ogiame Atuwatse III was destined to be king from birth, a declaration which buttressed the belief that kings are indeed born. In the case of Atuwatse III, however, a king is not only born but made. This is because the 21st Olu of Warri Kingdom, by dint of hard work, has come fully prepared to take the highly revered Olu of Warri's stool to greater heights. With a proven track record of competence, character and charisma, his reign is generally viewed in Ishekiri Nation as the dawn of a new beginning. And for the people to meet their new king is simply to fall in love.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Congratulations indeed to the Olu of Warri Kingdom, Ogiame Atuwatse III, as we look forward to a more prosperous and united Ishekiri nation under his reign. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screen. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA, thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.